Around the world, women are giving their babies the best start in life. They're breastfeeding.
Breastfeeding is one of the best experiences in life when it goes well.
I'm so happy to think that I'm giving my baby the best start in life.
It's what everybody's doing. It's natural, it's easy once you know how, and it feels good.
I love breastfeeding because it makes me feel very close to my baby.
I see him grow, and I think to myself, my wife is making him grow. It's amazing.
How does that feel?
This is Clarissa Georgestone. She is an international breastfeeding lactation consultant. She enjoys helping women to breastfeed their babies.
I've been a midwife for the past 25 years, and I became a lactation consultant in 2007. So it's like I've been breastfeeding for a long time.
There are lots of reasons why women breastfeed. Let's find out why breast milk gives babies the best start in life.
Is the milk coming down?
1. Breast milk contains all the goodness the baby needs for the first 6 months. It's got water, it's got fat, it's got sugar, it's got salt, it's got everything in the right proportion. 2. Breast milk is safe and it actually protects your child from common illnesses such as diarrhea and chest infections. We always say to mothers that every time you feed your baby, it's like giving them an immunization because all of the immunity from the mother as well comes through to the baby. So it's got everything. 3. If a breastfed infant does get ill, they'll recover more quickly because it contains antibodies. Special substances passed on from the mother that protects your baby from infection.
Now we know why breastfeeding is good for the baby, but there are lots of reasons why it's good for the mother too. Here are just 3 of them. 1
is easy, is safe, is quick. We always say breast milk is on tap. The baby gets it whenever and wherever it wants it. 2, breastfeeding is also good for the mother because it minimizes the risk of some cancers, brittle bone disease, and also bleeding, especially after delivery. 3, breastfeeding can be really good with bonding. You can see you feeding the baby and the baby's looking, Alfie is looking at you. Even that smile was reassuring just now.
Just making eye contact with you now.
Eye contact with you throughout the feeds. Yeah. And you know, it's reassuring for him. No, my mom is there and it's a good feeling for you as well.
Breastfeeding not only benefits mothers and babies, it's actually good for everyone.
Breastfeeding benefits the whole family because it's free. Breastfed babies are better able to contribute to family life as they grow up smarter and stronger.
Let's look at why breast milk is so much better than artificial milk, otherwise known as infant formula.
1, you cannot match breast milk and artificial milk. Breast milk does protect your baby from disease, artificial milk doesn't. 2, bottles, teats, and the water for the milk all need to be boiled for a long time to kill harmful germs. If they aren't, your baby could get diarrhea, which can cause death. 3, to make infant formula last longer, some parents use less powder or use dried ordinary milk powder as it's cheaper. Both options are dangerous because babies don't grow properly and can die. 4, buying infant formula is expensive. The utensils and the fuel are another cost. Imagine how your family could spend that money instead.
Of course, there are exceptional cases when the child needs to be fed with formula, when the mother is seriously sick, on certain medications, or the child is an orphan. Always ask for medical advice to help to reduce the risks in these rare cases. When your baby has just been born, you'll produce a yellowish milk. This is called colostrum and it's rich in nutrients. It's important that your baby receives this for the first few days. Let's explain why.
It is very important that you feed your baby with this colostrum, ideally within the first hour of birth or as early as possible.
I breastfed my son within the first hour of him being born because I knew it was the best thing for him and the best thing to get milk flow going.
When I first had him, I was so tired. I really didn't feel like breastfeeding. But the midwife said how good the colostrum was for him. So I did, and I'm really glad that I did now.
In certain cultures, the colostrum is thrown away and babies are given herbal teas for the first few days. This is not recommended.
Some cultures and mothers are concerned about colostrum. Some people advise giving teas, but don't, because it damages the baby's gut and makes them prone to infection.
So how do you know if your baby's feeding effectively? Look at this image. Which baby do you think is feeding well? This baby is feeding successfully while the other baby is not. Let's find out why as we hear some tips on the best way to breastfeed.
Finding the right position can really help your baby suck on the breast and swallow effectively. You will be comfortable and your baby too. Step 1, your baby's body needs to be on a straight line. Step 2, make sure your baby is not reaching out for their feed. Bring your baby close to you with their nose level with your nipple. Think nose to nipple. Step 3, wait for your baby to open their mouth really wide. Step 4, your baby should take a large mouthful of the breast and the chin should be touching your breast with the nipple deep inside their mouth. When latched on, your baby's mouth will cover your nipple and most of the dark area around your nipple will be covered too. What you do, you bring the baby around, nose to nipple, yeah, and baby lying across there. You could just support the baby's neck, yeah, so that they can be able to move their head, yeah. And what you do is, you just push down like that. Do like a nipple sandwich. Once the nipple touches the nose, they sometimes open their mouth. Once they have a big gape, then you bring the baby, nipple to nose, bring the baby towards you, supporting there. Once the baby is really latched on properly, you should not be feeling any pain. Yeah? Some people feel that initial discomfort when the baby latches on. That's good, you're really doing well. And you could see Alfie is really relaxed, you know. And it's nice to see you relaxed as well. You know, shoulders down, you know, you're doing really well. Mother happy, baby happy.
It's really important to make sure you find the right position. A lot of mums can experience pain and discomfort initially, and it's really important to persevere.
My nipples bled when I began to breastfeed, but then I got help and everything started.
The first 2 to 3 weeks are difficult, but I persevered, and now it's, you know, it's really rewarding and I'm really enjoying it, and so is Sophie.
It was quite hard in the beginning, and now she's amazing. Yeah, can't imagine doing anything else.
You may find that friends and family give you different advice on whether to feed from one breast or both breasts at every feed. It can be confusing, so what's best to do?
After a few minutes of feeding, your breast milk becomes richer in fat, and this is what really helps your baby grow. So it is important not to switch breasts before your baby has finished getting milk from the first breast.
Shall we try on your little booby?
When your baby has finished one breast, offer them the second breast. They might not want it, but let your baby decide.
There you go. You don't want it, no? I'm not interested.
And start each session of feeding on different breasts to keep both breasts producing lots of milk.
One of the most common reasons that mothers give up breastfeeding is they worry they're not producing enough milk. What should you do if you're worried about your milk supply?
It's quite natural for people to think that they don't have enough milk. I mean, that's one of the reasons why people give up. But to reassure you, I like to tell you that most mothers can breastfeed successfully and the babies will have enough milk. You've got enough milk to feed twins.
Sometimes I do worry whether or not I'm producing enough milk, but my midwife has assured me that, you know, I am producing more than enough milk. And if I'm ever worried or concerned, just to continually breastfeed, because the more you feed, the more milk you'll actually produce.
If you're still worried that your baby isn't getting enough milk, try to get help from family, friends, or a health professional. Most mothers, especially new mothers, will worry at some point about how often their baby needs to be fed.
There's no hard and fast rule on how often you feed your baby. We say feed your baby when the baby wants to be fed. And then for the first few months of life, the best place for the baby is on the breast.
In the beginning, sometimes it's difficult to know how often to feed the baby, but with time they kind of develop a pattern, so you know whether or not they're hungry or if they need a cuddle. And yeah, it just gets easier as you know your baby.
Feels like I'm feeding him all the time at the moment, but I know as he gets older he won't need feeding as much.
If your baby is poorly or they're growing, they need to feed a bit more. So don't worry about it. If you think they're feeding frequently, that's fine.
There may be times when you find it difficult to breastfeed, like when you're sick, but do try to continue breastfeeding, otherwise your milk flow may stop and you might find it difficult to breastfeed again when you're better.
If you fall ill, it's really advisable for you to get help. You can have your friends, relatives, or anybody to help you with the chores whilst you concentrate on feeding your baby and getting better.
There may be times when your friends and family suggest that you give your baby something other than breast milk. This is not advisable. Let's find out why.
It's understandable that in hot weather you feel that you need to give the baby extra water, but you don't need to give extra water. All you need to do is feed, feed, feed.
At 4 months, my baby seemed so hungry I was tempted to give some baby food, but I just breastfed him and he continued to be fine because I knew breastfeeding was better.
I was tempted to give my baby a formula milk because it seemed hungry, but now I know my body will make the right amount of milk for my baby.
Remember, give vitamin drops and medicine only if you've been advised to do so by a health professional.
There you go, darling.
Crying in the night does not mean that your baby needs porridge or extra food. You just get to know your baby. If they're windy, you wean them. If they want to be fed, you feed them breast milk. Now remember, no water, no herbal teas, porridge, sugar or other milk for the first 6 months, solely breastfeeding.
So now you know how to breastfeed and why it's so good for you and your baby. It's no wonder that women around the world are breastfeeding. Don't be left behind, be one of them.
I will tell women who are expecting a baby to breastfeed if they can, because it's the most wonderful thing you can do for your child.
I'm so happy to think that I'm giving my baby the best start in life.
I am very happy, so happy, I see him grow and I think to myself, my wife is making him to grow.
I can't imagine why women wouldn't breastfeed if they can, because it's good for you and it's good for the baby.
I'm so happy to think that I'm giving my baby the best start in life.
It feels really good because it's just kind of me and Sophie kind of bonding, so it's kind of us spending quality time together and just me knowing that she's getting all the nutrients and stuff that she needs, so I do enjoy it actually.